Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 17th of January, 2023, and I'm going to try to keep this video short and hopefully find someone to edit not only future videos, but go through all the videos that I've created in the last few years and uh, and get them re-downloaded in a better format. And so if anyone wants to volunteer that, I will pay. I'm not rich at all, but I have like hard drives worth of videos that can be gone through and again like shortened and things removed and taken out, and then links and videos and pictures put into the videos, and so that I can do things like and there's like actually something that pops up on the screen or whatever, and also means getting off my phone and getting on a laptop or other device. Anyway, I did a lot of research again in the last 24 hours. I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that there's no destruction right outside my home, and ultimately eventually going to be a lot more of an increase in electrical outflow, causing more power outages and impacting all of my devices and downloading speeds. Again, not just mine, but everyone in the area, which is unfortunate because when you increase electrical outflow, then you also increase people's health, issues, right? And different frequencies and waves do impact us, obviously at a cellular level. If you look at water and how it's impacted by sound and things like that, and even salt on a speaker when like there's vibrations, etc. It impacts them as well. So it's very clear that it impacts us, being that we're also like largely made up of water, and so tinnitus and IBS, chronic inflammatory issues, depression, um, brain fog. I don't know if I already said irritability. I do tend to repeat things. I'm so sorry for that. But again, if these videos were edited, then this could help. And anyways, where I was going with this stuff, a lot more issues. And so these are all things that also decrease our lifespan and keep us more wanting to look at ways to alleviate symptoms that are caused by our environment. That the only way we're going to be able to change them or mitigate them is to have our city planners learn how to actually, design uh, infrastructure in a way that best like emits like energy flow through various means, like with ground towers and fiber optic cables, but also like various other like not, like sun and moon towers and other forms of energy, right? And anyways, it's just hard to explain just how complicated this stuff is, but this is why, again, like there are certain experts in these fields, and I'm not like an electrical engineer or anything like that. So but I have talked to many, and also electricians about this stuff, and when I ask them questions about like why do you face the satellites towards ground towers and not up if like there are satellites, and why do you need fiber optic cables and connections and all these things, like people start like yeah, like why these are good questions. And oh, is my laptop shutting down? I'm just gonna plug it in, talk on the fly. And sorry about that. So if we were able to just plan our our city, our cities, and our like our areas that we're developing in a way where we're looking at ways to fully maximize the benefits of the energy being used to power like different like homes and vehicles and buildings and stuff like that, like businesses. This would really help. Like we have to look at long term, right? When we're doing builds, people look short term and way too short term. And anyway, I'm rambling on about this stuff, which I always do. I was also looking at gas bubbles within within the ocean, and but also within like different various water systems, and where there's like these underground or underwater like volcanic areas, or areas where gas bubbles can go in and out of, and then they can actually like suck ships in. So there's some theories that would suggest that like ships that have gone missing in the past, and or even possibly aircrafts, you know what I mean, if they like land, let's say in a place where these gas bubbles were pulling people in, then yeah, like this could be like possibly like the answer to this. And there's a lot of water in the world, and a lot of ships too. So anyway, I would love to look more into this stuff as well. And then I was also looking at like different types of like hot springs and how there's different like radium springs, like we have that in BC. And then they like arsenic springs as well. Sorry, like my laptop is not starting. It's weird. Anyway, I wanted to show you videos on it. That's why I have to like make sure that this works. But Murphy's Law. Anyway, I was going to talk about the association between religion and astronomy again, and astrology. But even with the name Jason in the Bible, I believe he's mentioned 5 times in the King James version, and he's also mentioned in other Bibles as well. And but even in the start of like Acts 17 like 5, like it talks about like there's correlations between him and having like in his interactions with like a lion, and like that can be symbolic of Leo. And then there's 30 sheets and 30 garments and judges and interacting with the men of Judah, and then with the jawbone of an ass, like he's slain thousands of men. This could be like some kind of like a half man, half ass, or like centaur, like I don't know what you want to call it, connection, and then like the Libra connection as well. Like this again, it depends on how you look at this stuff, and then being so that there's that connection, but then also the connection with like the Christ oil and leading a life that is more virtuous, and like the and trying to avoid the 7 deadly sins, and live by the 10 commandments, for example, or whatever religion or a cult group you're from, abiding by like the rules that are in place because there's reasons behind it, right? And so I do believe that like this is all like discussing like examples of how we like can find Christ from within, right? The kingdom is from within, being on the right hand side of God, like the right hemisphere being where this Christ oil is possibly like accessed, and then with like the pineal gland, pituitary gland, and the thalamus together being like like the cave of Brahma, or like the Ark of the Covenant, or like the Trinity like area where we're perceiving this reality or this consciousness in a more true way. And the more again that we exploit these like these temptations or desires, then like the more we're getting away from like the natural design, and then this is where more suffering is incurred, not only at the individual level but also at the collective level, because we're all connected, right? We're all waves, we're all light beings that are all connected. Everything literally is connected, and we're perceiving this reality, this simulated multi-dimensional reality, through these like on a flat plane of inertia that's heavily impacted by toroidal fields like electrical, magnetic, and dielectric waves or frequencies, whatever you call it. And it's even also in the sine, cosine waves, whatever you want to call it, that can also be seen in like the astrological chart, the houses, like the planets within this chart, that even Ptolemy like represented like the circle with the dot in the middle representing like a flat plane, and so many advanced civilizations even showing like this dome and Bibles and things like that, talking about a firmament, and that it's a stationary plane. And but anyways, we are divine beings that are experiencing this video game, and the way to win it, I guess, is to refrain from things like achieving orgasm, unless it's to procreate with like a partner, right? And it's supposed to be like an immaculate birth, or conception, or whatever you want to call it. So between 2 loving, caring parents is what I believe that to be like the ideal. And then again, like so for procreation, but then also during like also trying to remove like toxins and chemicals and things like that from our bodies that calcifies our pineal gland, or just like fogs up our cognition, and our hearts, and our bodies, in our digestive systems and everything like that, or like minimize like things that keep us in fight or flight, like survival. And so like not committing adultery, like not like honoring thy mother and thy father, like the murder stuff. Like there's so many like good lessons to learn from various different books that would really help us get out of like this stuff that we're experiencing now. and because it's not good people that are running the show right now and are creating the scripts for various different countries, and we are all being exploited, and it's being justified for people that are doing nothing but feeding their evil wolves or their evil selves and their temptations and their basic low level desires, and utilizing things like low level emotions, like trying to induce fear and anger in us, so that we are also being exploited, but also funding and turning a blind eye while these gross weirdos are doing the things they're doing. And I've shared videos on this, and Shelby Alamac, she shares a lot of videos on this on YouTube as well. I highly recommend subscribing to her and supporting her channel so that she can do this full time, because you're gonna get more news from people like even Jimmy Dore than you are gonna get from any form of mainstream media or the radio or TV or songs or fairy tales, any of this stuff. Well, not fairy tales, but I mean like books. But anyway, and even Samson, like he was a Nazarite, which means like someone that refrained from sexual desires, didn't drink, um, and so many other different things. And then so when he met Delilah, like he lost his strength. So like I'm also thinking that maybe that had to do with like maybe there was like that temptation and that desire and that urge. So maybe he did have sex with her and or want to and was lusting after her, and this made him like lose his strength. But there's also like theories that suggest that when you ejaculate. I know this is such a weird conversation for the morning. Oh my goodness. And a Tuesday morning at that. That a lot of our proteins and and minerals, like valuable micronutrients and proteins and minerals and things like that are released that our body needs. And so the longer people refrain, and even athletes do this too, and people that are billionaires and speak on this as well, but they refrain from like achieving orgasm, outward ones, that people practice tantric yoga and kundalini yoga and ways of achieving orgasm internally without losing the fluids, and still being able to access the seed and like having it like raise up through the like the spinal canal, and then be integrated into the third eye, whatever you want to call it, and achieve higher levels of consciousness and awareness and see the world for what it is. But anyway, so like when he was tempted by Delilah, this made him lose his strength, as well as when he cut his hair. So I also believe that our hair follicles can also be just like our cilia within our nose, and with other animals, like their hair is their antennas, and I believe that our hair is antennas as well. And like the better we treat our antennas, and the longer our antennas are, like the more we can connect with the ether and or like the collective consciousness and or source at its more pure form. And looking at the sun as well is very healing. So even Tesla and so many different Stoics and philosophers from ancient times, they all said the number one thing to do for healing and for life is to look at the sun, which is why there's even a freaking story with Jesus being the Son of God, right? Like these are all important points. And so looking at the sun, uh, again, it gives like a lot of healing. It regulates our DMT, our melatonin, like at a minimum. And this is also how we perceive this reality. This simulation is through DMT, through our organs, but I also believe like more importantly through our cerebral spinal fluid, which hosts the most DMT, and the more it's activated, strangely enough, the like the more DMT is released. So I'm also wondering if there's a connection with these like weirdos that because there's more DMT apparently in children, and like more in their pineal glands also, but like in the CSF. I'm gonna call it CSF just because it's easier, but it's cerebral spinal fluid, and so more activated at night during certain periods, like in this like in the circadian rhythm, or what do you want to call it, and but yeah, so inducing fear into people while you're as you're taking out this very volatile molecule that like also like gets released and disappears very fast. It's these are ways that people can like, they believe that they can um like astrally project or see visions or predict the future or time travel, or like the fountain of youth or whatever you want to call it. But but that's not the answer. Like these are things you're supposed to be doing within yourself, right? Like even with breathing techniques, you can activate or increase like your own like endogenous DMT, right? Like this is the trick to it, not taking it from others, you psychopaths. But unless it's a unless you want to like stimulate it or like duplicate it in a lab in a synthetic way, sure, but not the weird freaking gross way where you're exploding human beings, and that's actually happening, and also with animals as well, like being harvested for their pineal glands and things like I'm not joking about this stuff. It's gross. It's out there. I don't like linking that stuff because like why would you want to like look at that stuff? But anyway, but again, a lot of the stuff that I predicted and or discussed since my time being, I guess, on the record, uh, like I've been calling out literally everything, so it's not like what I'm saying. Like I haven't been backing up repeatedly, time and time again. So like I'm hoping at this point, like there's trust being built, there's bonds being built with the people that are watching this show or what do you want to call it, these videos, and I really appreciate it because if I can find a way to possibly make money this way, then I won't have to. I mean, I still will, but I won't have to be to work with government when like I had multiple contracts and they were canceled on me right at the start of the pandemic, and then like since starting these videos and being more vocal and an advocate for any mandates and not taking therapeutics, they obviously like have not hired me since. And so if I can find a way to get this stuff out there and not have to be so overly reliant on that stuff, it would be amazing. But anyway, it is what it is. Where would I go with this stuff? So yeah, I could talk a lot about the brain and this stuff, but I highly encourage people to take a look at the sun and then also meditate and then try to get better quality sleep during like the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. period, like is optimal. And because like there's also like what you're also cleansing your brain, and filtering out things, whatever you want to call it, and processing things as you're sleeping too, and you're also accessing other dimensions possibly as well when you're in that state. Yeah, I've talked about like red and blue, like the symbology, but like even with like red pill, blue pill within the matrix, like when people are red pilled, it's saying that you're seeing beyond like the matrix, and then the blue pill keeps you in the matrix, which is why when you see blue doors or blue glasses or whatever, these are people that are trying to push an agenda or a script that's keeping you or us stuck and or lying to us, like with some truth in it as well to make it easier to stick, but misleading us. And then the red pill would be like getting out of the matrix or exiting the matrix, which means like knowing more the reality of the earth, which means like knowing that this is a simulation, knowing that we're accessing this multidimensional simulation through our central nervous systems, or whatever you want to call it, like through our cerebral spinal fluid, through this connection with our spine, our heart, and our brain, and then and through manifesting our or like finding a way to get our like that seed or what I want to call it to rise instead of be lowered. And then when you do things that are lower level in nature, then this is what keeps like the seed or what I want to call it either stuck and not wanting to transcend or elevate and ascend, or it descends, and then you lose your like not only spirituality but your essence, and then a lot of like again minerals, micronutrients, and things that you may or may not need that may or may not make you stronger, smarter, better, as a human being in so many different ways. And so like balancing things at a very least, like even small changes that you can make in a day can really impact you on such a large scale, like small changes, like even filtering your water to start, maybe going for like looking outside for like maybe like a minute a day at the most, right? Like not through glass, but like direct, like looking at it, and sunrise and sunset are the most optimal times to do the sun gazing. And there's people that even do like the vijay and the bum, sun gazing or whatever I'm gonna call it. And yeah, so it's a thing. So Putin, like he's talking about like he wants to reach agreements, but even in 2014-15, like when there was that staged coup that was backed by the U.S., like he feels like there's a lot of reason to not trust people, and also like look what happened with World War I and World War II, like even specifically with Germany. And by the way, Germany is forcing people to get anyway, the people that are refusing jabs, they're actually court ordering, mandating it for people to get forced to do it. Like I'm talking like it would have to be like tied down and stuff like that. So that's crazy. But anyways, yes, like no reason to trust people. And then also with NATO and so many different organizations that are escalating tensions on the borders of the Ukraine and Russia, or of Ukraine and Russia, and bringing in more resources. And again, these are military resources. So why are you bringing in military stuff and not things that are going to be conducive to making people feel safer outside their house? Doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, it makes sense to me. There's money laundering. The money that they're saying is going towards the war, towards Ukraine, is going towards corporations like elitists that are making billions of dollars, pocketing a lot of it, giving a little bit to the actual like soldiers on the ground for themselves and for resources and equipment to actually be maintained. But it's shitty garbage equipment, I can confirm, because I was an infantry officer 15 years of my life, and since then I've done like firearms instruction, like driving, like advanced driving, use of force, and so many other things. And anyway, and so like yeah, look at the Minsk MINSK agreement. You'll see how corrupt this stuff is. So like the WEF meeting that's happening in Davos, Bill Gates, George Soros, and Klaus Schwab are not attending, and like it's probably a security risk, and or they just don't care to anymore because they've already profited as much as they are. There's so much information being leaked that it's probably a security risk. But like I just said, but they also have minions there that are going to be doing the stuff that are going to be promoting the agenda that they want to promote anyways, right? There's so many different examples of this. I even shared Chrystia Freeland is one of them, and she's our Canadian Deputy Prime Minister. She needs to be fired, and she's our Finance Minister. The worst in history. Like, I'm not even joking. I am not even joking. The worst leader in Canadian history. Anyway, like Chrystia Freeland, and it's mind blowing how she's not in jail yet. Like at very least, like not like fired, dishonorably discharged, and all of our money taken back. But like no, she also has her friends and her family that have profited off the pandemic, as well as Anita Anand, who was supposed to be our defense, protege as well, or one of our leaders. And then even Lori Idlout, like another, she was elected in 2021 cabinet member, $450,000 to a corporation for why when corporations like me, I'm incorporated, Athena Incorporated, my contract's all removed and not hired still, and I've given my resume to all levels of government, mayors, district leaders, cabinet ministers, defense, Marco Menincino, Chrystia Freeland, saying like this is just to give myself obviously credibility, and then also like giving emails and showing proof that they were lying to people repeatedly on the record, and then giving the government medical and scientific proof to back it up, and then not getting any responses back. My mind is blown. My mind is blown, and they're using platforms that we are funding to share the lies, to perpetuate these lies. And we're not benefiting from this, ladies and gentlemen. We are not the ones that are benefiting from any of that. Yeah. So like the stuff that's been coming out, the jabs are more and more are dangerous, right? There's SADS, there's SIDS, there's strokes, there's heart issues. There's like the list goes on, and like and people are trying to call like the stuff anything else but what it is, right? And there's so many different countries that have been calling for an immediate suspension of any further rollouts of jabs. These specific ones I'm talking about, these mRNA ones, and even people that like even last year were preaching about how amazing like these were, etc., have done a complete 180 in the last couple of months, but especially in the last couple of weeks, because of all the information that's come out. Why? Because we're being less censored on social media. And in the last few weeks, now that Twitter has less censorship, there's more experts and actual credible information that has been finally released to the public. So not crazy conspiracy theories or weird stuff. There's more valuable content that is finally breaking the mainstream elitist corrupt legacy media, and even proof showing that the FBI, CIA, Department of Defense, like all these different organizations funding and in direct contact with on a regular basis major social media platforms. This is a problem, right? And this has been going on for hundreds, if not thousands, of years, and even in the form of yellow journalism, all this stuff. Like it needs to stop. Like the Mockingbird, stuff. Come on, come on. Anyway. Yeah, there's just so much ridiculous stuff going on in the media right now, and so many ways to try to divert attention from certain groups or make other groups like vilify other groups. And so like even Republican Byron Donalds. So again, like I'm not part of like, even though I slam Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland, it just so happens that they're liberal. I'm not into politics in that way, right? Like I've voted for 3 different political parties in my life, and because I do still think that like there's yes, they're rigged, but again, like we significantly need to change the way like our systems of governance, and the people in charge are directly admitting on the record that they're taking their orders from people that are not Canadian, and so again, this is deeply concerning. And yeah, so like so a Republican, sorry, I was going with this, Byron Donalds, he slept with a Chinese spy. He was a part of like an intelligence committee in the U.S. and so he was fired because he slept with a Chinese spy. I don't know if he was married or not, but there's a lot of people that cheat, you know what I mean, and do like weird ass orgy things, and in these groups, in these circles, and but yeah, that's why he was terminated. And he was trying to say that like, oh, like the only reason why he was fired was purely out of vengeance. Oh my God, these people again, like on social media, unless people can actually get like the receipts, and they shouldn't even have to get to that level. Like people will just lie about things, right, and play the victim even though they're the villains. It blows my mind. Let me see. Yeah, if you want to look at any of the like any Bible search stuff, or if you have any like curiosities regarding names and various Bibles, go on Gematria, and or like there's so many different Bible searches you can go onto and then get the breakdowns, and not just Wikipedia. I highly recommend people get off Wikipedia as much as possible, but I don't know. I think on that note, I will leave it at that, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day.